Tension is blamed for so many things, and I always find first, before you have an issue with tension, that you actually make sure you're using good quality thread, the right needle, is your machine threaded correctly, has it been cleaned in the last 4 years, you know, the basics. So what I've done is I've put some pink thread in my needle, and I have my green thread in my bobbin. Now, depending on how I have things set, especially if I have a thicker thread on top and a finer thread on the bottom, who's going to win? The one on the top. That's a stronger thread, like a tug-of-war team. And as you can see, here we go, you can see that my tug-of-war team has pulled my bobbin thread up, and I see no pink thread on the back side. So it's really not looking even like a stitch that should be. Now here on the other side, where I've done a little stitching and I had to kind of manipulate it just to get our looks here. Here I get more of the pink pulled to the back than I need. Now really what I'm after is a nice balanced stitch. I want this stitch to look the same on the front as it does on the back. That's awesome stitching. You want the two threads to be pretty much linking in the middle of your fabric. That's ideal tension. Now there is times with decorative stitches that I want the threads to pull to the back so the top really looks smooth, but all in all I don't need it to pull that far to the back side. Now if you're having some type of issue like this, where you're having loops, see those loops just kind of pull into the backside. That's where I didn't even have thread in my tension disc. So that I just need to rethread the machine. Or if you get those big bird's nests on the back, sometimes your thread's either not on your take-up lever or not in your tension disc. And this is going to happen. That's an operator error issue, not a tension I need to adjust the dial with. So when we do go into tension here, we're going to find that as we take our tension, we're only adjusting the top thread. So if we're getting way too much thread pulled to the top, that means our top is too tight. So we're going to go ahead and go down a number or two. Now when I talk about numbers, see how you have lots of little increments? You have like quarter increments. I'm talking about going down a whole number. So now from 4, I'm going to take it to 3 or even more for my first adjustment, because that usually needs a little bit more help there. Or some place where my bobbin thread is winning way too much. I don't want as much pull to the back side. Then I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to start at my default setting and crank it up. Again, turn it to 5 or maybe 6 and see if you get the result you're looking for. If you just turn it one notch, it's not going to change. Give it a good little spin and then sew it out again. Sometimes fabric will make a difference. On a thinner fabric versus a thicker fabric, things might look a little different. So just as you set it for one fabric doesn't mean that's a global thing that you'll always need to change your tension for. But anytime you have two different weights of thread, I often do. I want to sew with this decorative thread, but I don't want to put it in my bobbin. That would be wasting it, especially like metallic thread. I usually have a different weight in the bobbin, so then I'm going to adjust it. If you're ever using clear thread is, even though it feels like hair, it's so fine, it needs the tension drop down to somewhere. Usually I just go to 2 because that usually is balanced nicely with the bobbin thread that I've put. Usually I put a finer bobbin thread in there, but don't be afraid that if you, just because you're using 2 different weights of thread, that you don't actually, you're going to have to change your tension just a little bit to really get the results that you're looking for.